my cold dick out. Number 3, take advantage of loud and soft noises. Number 4, make sure there are no kids in the general cone of your dick viewing region. Number 5, set up some jokes. Number 6, put your pants away before the fucking police show up. Only Jeremy Reed knows what I'm working with right now. On deck is Greg Willett. Please give it up for the one, the only D. Nice Williams. There's something wrong with my brain. I had no plans on taking my pants off until I was told there was a rule about not taking your pants off. Now it's the only thing I want to do in my life. I've been doing comedy for 7 years now. Yeah, you all laugh. I was living in Madison at the time. I got married really young, and we moved to Madison because that's what you do when you're a young liberal from the middle of nowhere. And so I saw a sign for an open mic night, and I'd always loved Bill Hicks, and I loved a bunch of other of those, I don't know, liberal comics, whatever. So I started going to this open mics, and I realized, oh, none of these guys are that funny. I could probably do that. I won't be the worst person. That was the first thing that I thought of. So then I started going to those open mics, and my then wife left me for another open mic comic. So that just really really destroyed my interest in going to open mics at all at Madison. She's a webcam girl now. So we got divorced, and then I moved to Milwaukee, and then I moved back here, and there was 2 comedy clubs at the time that were feuding constantly, Skyline and Comedy Quarter. And Comedy Quarter was the only one that had an open mic, so I started going to that.
It was like the Hatfields and the McCoys between Skyline and the Comedy Quarter. But the Comedy Quarter had the Monday night open mic and the contest, and that's everybody went over there. And then because the owner of the Comedy Quarter was a little difficult, to be polite, a lot of people jumped ship and moved to Scully.
Yeah, the guy who opened Comedy Quarter, I guess, used to work with Cliff at Skyline or something, and like he tried stealing all Cliff's headliners and shit to get him to go to the Comedy Quarter. And then the rule was if you worked at Skyline, you weren't allowed to do the open mics at Comedy Quarter. So I just stuck with Comedy Quarter because I was just open mic level. I didn't have the material to become... Which, looking back, like, I fucking should have ditched Comedy Quarter a long time ago and went to Skyline, but whatever. You live and learn, I guess.
The thing I learned today was that after a certain amount of time, possessions can be considered legally abandoned. So in a couple months, if you watch my Facebook page, I am going to have a rummage sale of shit that isn't mine. It is going to be $10 just to walk into the house. You can take whatever the hell you want. I don't give a shit anymore. So that is good right there.
Well, I've been doing improv here at the Backlot for 5.5 years since it started. As far as stand-up, it's probably been going about 3.5 years. There wasn't really much of a scene in the Fox Valley when I first started, and we sort of started an open mic here, and you start learning about things. So that's been going on for about 3.5 years.
There was a very bad carving in this desk, and I was covering it with my art carving.
Oh, yeah. I've heard that story before. And I don't care how deep your voice is for a 5th grader, but that is not what you should be doing here.
We started in June of 2013. We did not sell alcohol for the first year of business, which is amazing that we're still standing after that first year, because if you know Wisconsin, you know that any activity needs to come with alcohol in order to, be popular. But we ended up getting our liquor license, and now we're still booming 6 years later.
This place is a very good blend of people, and Kyla putting so much of herself into this business, and so much of her creativity really just bursts out of this place of coming up with different ideas of when we do our 25 hours of comedy, being able to organize and bring together all of us herding cats into a room to try to get ideas for things and bringing those forward. I would love to see Backlot continue just in the same cyclone fashion that it always has.
Will and I each had a row to ourselves. What? That was it. Yeah. Oh my God. And then we almost died on the return flight because we flew on that fucking plane that had crashed.
The Fox Valley is a place where comedy wants to happen. People want to make these spaces, and they want to make communities where people can come and tell jokes and do all of the stuff that we love to do. And because of that desire, there's a lot of people who live in this area who fight very hard to make those spaces and to hold them open.
Yeah, it's just different. It's a different thing. I think Appleton in general, since it is kind of a smaller city, already has that sense of community. We saw that with the firefighter and how the whole community showed up. Everyone from Oshkosh down to, even De Pere, you name it. There's people where I'm from that changed their profile pics and knew the story and were supportive monetarily and everything. It's a very unique scene here.
I think it's unique in the sense that it's brand new. Everyone, for the most part, apart from a few of the dudes who've been doing it for a while, but there was really no scene, so to speak, when they were doing it. There was, but now there's an actual hub. The Skyline it's getting comics together, and it's. Yeah, that's the big thing. For most of us are under 2 years, but there's definitely some people with some good natural talent here, and I'd like to see what it's going to be like in 3 or 4 years for sure.
There are a lot of talented people in the Fox Valley, and I think that it's very underestimated because we don't have the headline of we are Chicago, we are New York City, we are LA. We are Oshkosh, we are Appleton, we are Green Bay, and we're making it happen. We're all separated, but we all know we're all helping each other out. We all exist. if we don't have a show going on here on Thursday night at the Comedy House and people are looking for stand-up, I know to say, hey, head on up to De Pere, go to the green room, go check out, you know, their stand-up show there, or go up to Appleton, go to Skyline, go check out their open mics on Wednesdays, because what we are creating is our own version of these big city acts. And I've had customers leave reviews on our pages saying, hey, I've been to Second City, I've been to IO, and I am at the Backlot Comedy House, and it feels like I am right in the center of Chicago seeing an improv show. That's huge.
I'm amazed. Every time I come to an open mic, I'm amazed at the confidence and the, you know, and the stick-to-itiveness. You know, they're always doing new material, and they're just dedicated. There's very few people that get up there and don't know what they're doing, you know. And these people have not had a class or anything. They're just, you know, figuring it out on their own.
Jack, what the fuck do you have against prostitutes? They're not bad people. They just do for money what your mom did for free. That's science.
The main thing is here there's just not a lot of opportunity to get up on stage and practice and get better. In bigger scenes, you can go in Chicago, Los Angeles, and New York, there's fucking 5 open mics you can hit every day. In our scene, there's 1 or 2 open mics you can go to a week. It's just harder to get good here. Nobody starts good at comedy. People can start getting laughs and shit, but the stand-up comedy is fucking hard. To be like somebody like Kyle Kinane's level that just pumps out new material and just has just that amazing stage persona and can just, man, you can't do that here. 1 open mic a week.
James Thorne, alright. Straightest dude in this room, alright. Cool. Hey, on deck, we got Casey Rodriguez right now. Smoke Dog, alright.
Skyline has their open mic now, and it's brilliant. And you get your 20 comics in your 3.5 minutes, and it's like been really good. There's real people coming there, but there's a lot of comics that are people won't come back again after they hear them. But that's an open mic. It's a difference between a showcase. Showcase, you'll have people, comics that you know that can produce a product. But anyway, it's a blessing.
You know, we do have an incredible A+ fucking club, and it's so overlooked by people as far as like as an avenue for an entertainment. It's strange to me that there's not constantly sold out shows there, because I mean, how many fucking Journey cover bands are you gonna want to see a month? You know, but no, it's yeah, I think the Skyline is definitely a big influence on this scene.
2 open mics, maybe 3 on the way, and then I mean, the Backlot's got the month-to-month one, but as far as consistent open mics, we've got 2. And one of those is because a comic just is selfless and wants to do it for, again, fostering that community. Cimarron fosters that community better than any other open mic, even better than Skyline. Skyline's a little more pressure. You got eyes on you, but as far as being really loose, really expanding yourself, that's what Cimarron's for, man.
You're talking about how that kid said he was dead since he was 11. Yeah, I was dead since I was 13. It was a wonderful year of my life. All when I turned 13 years old, all in that same year. My parents got divorced. I was diagnosed with a terminal heart condition. My grandma died of cancer, and my dad moved away to New York, and I started puberty. So like, there's all this weird crying going along with masturbating thing going on, and like I don't need her to cry. I mean, I started December on open mic because we needed more than one open mic a week, and the Tuesday one at Dairyland shut down, and there's a stage here, and I figured I could talk my boss into letting me do it, and I'm leaving anyway. The first one I had here, I wanted to set it up as like a workshop where we could get together and fucking throw joke ideas around, and it was Tyler Sitar was the only person that showed up. Then the second time I tried to run it, Jake Shane was the only person that showed up, and that was the first time I was going to run this as an open mic. And it was just me, Jake Shane, and his wife, and Jake was fucking drunk, showed up in his pajamas. That was fucking awesome. It was. I ended up making him cry. I don't know how, but he was sitting at the bar crying and apologizing to me. I took a picture of him crying too. But then the third time, it went really well. I was the bartender and the host and the cook, and I was running fucking everything. And I'm a big old fat guy, and I was running fucking back and forth from the bar to the kitchen to the stage. Just wild. So then it started going really well.
Alright, you guys already like this guy according to Greg, and he looks like he knows what he's doing. So, fucking clapping shit for Jake Sean.
Just want to start my set by saying anybody who applies to this room, Happy Mother's Day. That has not been said yet. Just wanted to say that. Happy Mother's Day. All right. I always like saying Happy Mother's Day, even to women who have had abortions, because I believe in participation trophies. So, just like throwing that out there.
Talk about selflessness, the fact that he's basically running an open mic for no other reason than he wants to see everybody get better and succeed. And again, form this community. He's leaving. He shouldn't care at all, but he does. Because he knows his roots, he knows what's important, and he knows where he comes from. And things like that are the same reason he got as good as he is. So he wants to leave his imprint on the community the same way he got good, which was guys just doing one selfless thing. And it ends up growing into something.
Judy Carter.
Judy Carter.
She also wrote the Comedy Bible. It's really good book to read. There's also one called How to Write and Sell Your Sense of Humor, and that one has a lot of different. What do you call them?
Greg Willett right there?
No. No, but it was an old guy.
Write it down though, and then
Judy Carter was her name? Judy Carter. She wrote Stand-Up Comedy, the book, which is a really basic, getting you your first 5 minutes, solid tight, and then the Comedy Bible. She also wrote which goes through a lot more stuff, writing for sitcoms, all kinds of stuff.
He could have just opened up an open mic that we had in Oshkosh, where the employees didn't care, nobody cared. That's what a lot of them are. But the fact that he made it to where you're going to show up and it's a workshop, it's really important. We take this very seriously. That's very special. That's very special. I've done some, not all of them, but I've done open mics in Milwaukee, and it's hard to get civilians to pay attention and care and get the importance of what we're trying to do. He's gambling on the fact that by doing this, everybody's going to get better, and maybe somebody will get good enough to get in his position and also do that again. Like, just keep the cycle coming. He shouldn't, he's kicking regulars out of that place. He's actually going into that company, that business, and kicking customers out, because comedy is what's important. It's marketed that way. It's very obvious according to the posters as well. No talking, no cell phones, etc., etc.
Oh. Down.
I've got pants in the car.
Go put them on before you get on stage.
You got 30 seconds.
I got 30 seconds.
Are you fucking wearing shorts?
I pulled them up for goofs.
He's moving away in a
I wanted it to be more comedian focused than audience focused, because it's not a real show. Like, we're open micers. We're not fucking drawing a crowd that wants to pay attention to us. So Sunday nights worked out. My boss said I could run it however I wanted. So I said no talking, no heckling, no fucking with the comics. They're here, very low amateur level comics that don't get a lot of practice doing stand-up comedy. They need a comfortable, safe environment to try out their new jokes. So I ended up kicking out a lot of my regulars during shows and getting in fights with like my best friend. My best friend came in here and I kicked her out because she was on her phone. And she got mad. She cried. I make people cry a lot. More than I make them laugh, I think.
This next gentleman has a trouser snake like a garden hose with fucking reptiles crawling in it. It scares me every single time. Whatever, he's got big dick energy, that's what I'm saying. Please, put your hands together for the one, the only, the United States Super Service Postal Service worker, Mr. Matt Forrest!
I want to pay my bills by telling dick jokes. And it seems like a pretty easy lifestyle, and it seems like a reasonable goal.
We put so much pressure on it, and then you look at what you're talking about. It's like weed-infused lube. You're like, I thought that was gonna work, man. It's like, it's a dumb joke to begin with. Of course they didn't laugh at it. We're going up there just having fun.
Confidence of like knowing that you're not just up there embarrassing yourself every week, you know, like getting past the fact that this is an insane, stupid thing to want to do, but goddamn it, is it fun? That's and it's such a simplistic answer, but that is like the best answer I can come up with, dude. Like writing a new joke and having it work it's one of the most fun things ever. I don't know. Like, I've done fun shit.
If I can find it, I'll bring it.
My coworker did. Hey!
Oh, look.
There's that. And then so I was thinking maybe we set these out on the chairs like Mr. Brandel did at rehearsal.
I like that. What? Instead of it signing them.
Yep, the chairs will be out, so you guys don't
just pick a chair.
So when I was growing up, my parents always told me, Kylie, you can be anything you want to be. You can do anything you want to do. Like, the world is your oyster. Do whatever you want in life. And not having that restriction has made me realize, like, oh, shit, girl, you can do anything. Like, let's do this. Let's open up a freaking comedy house in the middle of Oshkosh where nobody knows what improv comedy is. Let's do it. Why not? Yeah, let's go for it. Whatever. And so I hope that stand-up comedians see that they can do improv and that improv comedians see that they can do stand-up. That would be really cool. As far as like the future of comedy in the Fox Valley, I hope that there's more integration between improv performers and stand-up performers working together to make like that comedy scene even stronger.
I think to make any predictions at this point would be very foolish, because I think we are at still a very tender, like right now is a very tender moment. We're just, I always use fire analogies, we're just getting the fire going. It's just started. But now it has finally started to come around a little bit where people are respecting comedy and interested in comedy, and it seems like we're having audiences now. But yeah, I mean, I remember remember one time at one point there was nobody listening, and I just started yelling, "I fucked a goat," and nobody even looked up. Nobody even I was like, "It does not matter what I say. I could be the funniest person in the world, and nobody's listening. It doesn't matter." So I don't even know how I made it. Just sheer ignorance, just not care. The same way I've done everything in my life. I just have an idea. I just keep going forward, even though there's no evidence whatsoever that I was going to become successful.
I think this is just another wave in the ocean. I think at one point it was probably similar to this. They had a good buzz. There was a lot of people that I couldn't even name or remember. I wasn't around for that. But I just think it's one of these. So we have to ride the wave for now. It's the dip theory. It's going to have your ups and downs and everything like that. So while we're on this wave, let's ride it as hard as we can. There's people around here who are definitely trying to set up great shows, a community. There's, the Fox Valley comedy thing going on now. That's fantastic. I hope it sticks around. But unfortunately, a lot of the people that we're seeing at the open mics, a lot of the people that we think are down for the haul and are ready to do this, we'll start to notice one by one, dominoes are going to fall, and eventually it's going to be down to the same cluster that started.
Appleton could become a relevant comedy city, maybe, maybe not, I don't know. Milwaukee can, how the fuck is Appleton, but I don't know. Moral of all this, dude, Appleton is a solid scene of good comics and good people, and it's fucking fun. It's a fun city to do comedy in.
Like I said, there's a lot of talent that's out there, and while open mics are good for a lot of people, there needs to be more, of the, shows like are going on, they've had in Berlin or they've had at the Menominee Nation or, any place where you can sell tickets, because we've been to those places and we've seen you can sell tickets for these things. You can tell someone there's going to be an hour-long show. It is $15-20, and they'll pay for it. The demand is out there that we can do that, and then the comics can get paid, and then you can add money to the coffers to maybe get a camera to record people when they're out there and put it out online, and that's the way it's going to grow. That's the way the fire is going to grow.
If you can't find a venue, you build a venue for yourself. And you can build it. And Sean is driven to go to New York to get better. Other people go to LA to get discovered. The pretty people, I'm going to go. But baby steps, baby steps.
It goes in cycles, so I just keep seeing those same cycles go over and over again, and I don't ever see a time when people won't want live stand-up comedy. I can't imagine that there ever being a day that they don't want it. I think it's, in that sense, it's a secure job, but in the sense of having a steady income, it's not that secure. But the need will always be there. And if you have the desire, the need will be there.
It's a state of constant flux, and I'd love to see that, and to make sure that it's always stable and strong, that it's a good place for that Kyla can enjoy doing it for as many years as she wants, and that people will feel that they can always come here if they want to have a laugh. And I'm always one of the regulars that comes to Backlot now. They first came because they had gone to a funeral that day and they wanted to laugh. And I think and now they come every week because they just decided that one day on a very, very sad day, they wanted to laugh anyways. And I think that that's something that this world will always need, but especially if you look forward to what might be happening in the world politically or otherwise. It could be a very scary place, and there will always need to be places where people can come and laugh. And I think that the Fox Valley should always be a place where people can feel that they want to try and to start or to continue what they're doing or try to become stronger. It's a place of nurturing, and it's a place where people can really set themselves off, and I hope it always continues to be that way.
It's a pretty cool thing to be able to make people laugh. So that's why I do it too. If I can make you laugh, if I'm good at doing that, I'm gonna keep doing it, because I've had a bad day. I can come up here and express myself that way. You've had a bad day in the audience. You just want to come here have a drink and laugh and forget about the outside world for an hour and 15 minutes. That's something we bring to the world. And that's pretty cool, I think.
That's the thing I really like about comedy too. Like, people come to a comedy show to laugh. They want to feel good. Like, you never know what people are going to a concert for. Or, like, fucking, they want to go get in the mosh pit and hurt somebody. They want to fucking just get drunk and fucking try and fuck a chick or whatever. Comedy specifically, people come because they want to laugh. That's neat, in my opinion. Although there's like fucking bachelorette parties and shit that come and just ruin shows, but yeah, well, it's my special day. They're fucking cool, but like fucking just be quiet for an hour. 1 hour, maybe. Shut the fuck up. Suck on your cock straw.
Think I see it now, time to be it now. What you dream about? Can you see us now? Yeah, we're screaming loud. Can you hear me now? I can feel it now. It's in my spirit now. Getting near it now. And I can show you how. I can show you now. Can you say it loud? Can you show us all your power? 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 I'm gonna show you all my power. 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 Think I see it now. Time to be it now. What you dream about? Can you see us now? Yeah, we're screaming loud. Can you hear me now? I can feel it now. It's in my spirit now. Getting near it now. And I can show you how. I can show you now. Can you say it loud? Can you show us all your power? 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 I'm gonna show you all my power. 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 All my power. All my power.
Just a reminder, we do this on the first Friday of every month. The Nomination Arena has one on the first and third Monday. Go up to the Skyline in Appleton on Wednesdays at 7:30. They have a open mic as well that's free of charge. Tyler hosts one at the ICU, and Nina as well. So thanks for supporting local comedy. It's becoming big in the Fox Valley here. We appreciate every one of you. Have a great night, ladies and gentlemen.
Don't do stand-up comedy if you want to be happy. That's it. I'm going to close the bar.